Hello, welcome to the weekly wind-up with myself, Emma Kirke. Today I'm joined by Dale Brendan Hyde, a cancer survivor, crime fiction writer, bare-knuckle boxer and urban streetwear designer. But more importantly, he's a true inspiration and someone I have a deep respect for. With such an incredible story, I had to invite Dale into the studio to share it with you. So welcome to the show.
Thank you, thanks for inviting me.
I know obviously you must get asked a lot about your background and your history, but could you just tell me a little bit about the cancer that you've had and your journey?
Yeah, about 6 years back, was in the gym, quite fit, got back into my boxing, lot of blood from your back end, got diagnosed with bowel cancer, had that surgery, then it spread to my liver, really bad on my liver, had a lot of chemotherapy, liver surgery, half my liver out. Got a little bit still left in my liver after that, had a little bit more chemotherapy, then it went to my right lung, then it was stable for about 18 months and then it disappeared, and they were very blasé about like, okay, you know, go and get on with your life now, you're alright. Tried to pick myself back up after all that, it'd been about 3 years. Then last year it come back in my liver again, I had to have another 35% of my liver out. Obviously liver regenerates, so it's not like they keep chopping it away. I had ablation therapy, which is like some steel rods that they put down and electrocute you basically direct onto the tumours. And then they wanted me to do chemo again and I refused it and I went on the cannabis oil for 3 months. A friend sorted that out for me, and I'm clear at the minute.
So how long have you been clear for?
About 6 months.
And how old were you when you had that first diagnosis?
39.
So you're quite young at 39 to be getting that kind of diagnosis.
Yeah, I didn't get like I didn't get referred from my doctor. The doctor checked me out for like some of the symptoms I had. Because of my age, he didn't think there were anything serious up with me. It was only until I had like a colonoscopy, and then they found like a massive tumour. So yeah, they said it had been started about in my early 30s. Which you don't really get bowel cancer till 50s, 60s really, so yeah. So
you'd had this tumour for a long time, but without any symptoms?
You don't really get any symptoms. I won't say, like I said, at the time I'd been diagnosed properly, I was probably in the most fittest shape I've been in my life, so people in the gym were like, thought, not that you'd kid about it, but they were like, give up.
Shocked.
Do you know what I mean? They were all like saying, no, you can't have cancer, and no symptoms until the end, till it blocks your passage and then the bleeding starts. And within the bleeding and getting to surgery, probably about as quick as about 5 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've had 6 months now, touch some wood.
Yeah.
Are you getting back on with your fitness?
Yeah, just gently, do you know what I mean? I'm just getting back into some swimming. Again, you can't really get back, you know, in your mind you want to get back into what you used to be into, can't really, you know, you've got to adjust as hard as it is, you've got to realise that you're not how you were. Yeah. And, you know, it kills me to not be able to do with the stuff.
All that treatment, though, it must take it out of you. Yeah,
definitely. The chemotherapy, I wish I'd done it. If I'd have known, you don't really know. You're like led into, you know, you're scared and you're kind of not, you know, you're pushed into like situations. So the first chemo, I had no choice. As far as I was concerned, I was being told like you might have, at the worst, like 4 months to live. So I definitely like went for the chemo. But after, like you say, you start diagnosing yourself and researching what's what, and then I realised like the cannabis oil seemed, you've got to do the full. People seem to be getting confused with the CBD oil that's out and about. That's good for aches and pains, but that won't shift like tumours. You've got to like get the full strength oil, and you've got to do quite. You know, I was totally out of it for about 3 months, but come back clear.
So, in and amongst that, you'd actually started to write a book prior, hadn't you, to the cancer? Yeah,
I'd handwritten it. I'd left it for ages because it was such a big manuscript. I was going to just about to edit it and type it up, and I'd been putting it off, and then I actually got on with it. I was about 6 months into typing it, about 50,000 words in, and then I got the bowel cancer. So,
but eventually you produced this book, which is called The Ink Run.
Eventually.
Yeah. After, with a little bit of a time delay in the middle.
Well, it proper slowed me down. You know, like I said, I did 50,000 words typed up in 6 months. Probably I did another 10,000 words in the next 2 years.
Yeah.
You know, because I just couldn't really focus. The chemotherapy messed my head up that much. I found it hard to, you know, editing and trying to string stuff together. It's yeah, just couldn't really do it. Did the best I could under the circumstances. But once I got some clearance, got back into it, every opportunity I got, did a little bit more.
But I think a lot of people would have perhaps not actually finished it. So the fact that you did finish it.
Yeah, well, because I'd lost the fitness side to my life, it gave me a little bit of something. Actually, kept me sane, to be honest, because it was like you kind of get housebound. You know, you're not really going anywhere. I dropped from 16 stone to 11 stone on the chemo, so I was weak as a kitten. Couldn't really go out. I didn't want to go out. You don't want to go out because you feel, look like, you look rubbish. You don't feel well. So you're not really bothered about going out and about. So yeah, it gave me something to focus on in the house and crack on.
So tell me, how did you start writing a crime fiction novel?
Early writing from when I was in trouble as a kid, really, prison. I'm not in trouble now. I'm going back 25 years. But when I was a young kid, I got done with some robberies, running a bit wild. Learnt my lesson, reformed myself in prison. Stopped messing about. Did my classes, did my education again. Come out, went back to college, got into university, went to some art colleges, and then the manuscripts and stuff I'd started writing sort of developed from there. And then I kind of felt like I took it serious. I wasn't taking it serious for a while.
Yeah.
I just kept writing, and maybe some sort of therapy. I don't know. I never really went to any sort of therapist. You don't get much help coming out of prison, so maybe the writing was my way of just working out whatever were going on in my head. Going from running about robbing people to trying to sort of go back to college and behave yourself.
Well, going to college and behaving is quite difficult for most people, I think. Unless you find something that you're really focused and passionate about.
That's it. It kept me. Yeah, that's what I mean. I had like a goal in mind of what I wanted to do. So once I started getting into, once you develop the books, they start sort of taking on. You can't really stop them. Then they've got a life of their own. So.
Now I know that this has actually been sort of described as very, very truthful and unlikely to be fiction by quite a few people.
Yeah, quite a few. I've had a few people who were quite astute, like sort of even people like who work for like the CIA and stuff like that say this is too real to be, it seems very semi-autobiographical at least. So yeah, there's definitely parts of it. I'm not going to say I'm running about, it's a lot about vigilante, there's a lot of murdering in it. I'm not running about murdering anybody, but I just twisted like my prison experience into the middle of this book's all about one of the characters trapped in an asylum. So it was quite easy to sort of switch from what I knew about treading on the prison landings to sort of the asylum, and I did a lot of research at my local field ed, like they've got a museum there, so I did all the research. The curator used to like lock me in the padded cell and let me do some of the writing. So when people have sort of done a reference on it and said, oh, the writing's so real out, have you been in an asylum? I'm like, I've not been in an asylum, but
you've been locked up in a cell.
For them parts that I writ, purposely, like an actor, sort of method actors get into certain parts for their head, don't they? They go and research things. I let for that part, I let myself sort of be in the madhouse.
Yeah. This isn't the only book that you've written. I know you're in the middle of writing your second novel.
Yeah.
And you've got another a couple of books as well that you've produced.
Yeah, I did a couple of books because like the second novel I'm doing again is quite a big piece of work again. So it was just making sure I had a couple of little ideas. I did a short story called The Whiskey Pool, which is about an alcoholic type, but it's more a self-help book about Buddhisms, all the things I'm interested in, Buddhism, stuff like that, and it's about rebirth and how you sort of maybe keep coming back in life until you get it right and get off the cycle. People complain about their life and maybe it's your past life or that type of thing. Did a poetry book that I did years ago, kind of put that back together, new cover, new title, put that back out, just to have something out there while I'm working on this next book.
And amongst all of that, you also have designed a range of urban streetwear, haven't you? Urban streetwear.
Yeah, we started, because the book was, like I said, there's not a lot of people think you'd make millions out of books straight away. You can make millions, but at the start, it's slow going, do you know what I mean? So we're looking for another way of earning a few quid. Obviously, I've not been working much with you're just trying to catch up with everything, you've been totally like out of the loop of sort of work-wise. So yeah, I started up it's called Plan G. It's the G's for like how they used to spell jail, and the old ways of spelling jail, and it's kind of like that hooligan type of brand, weekend offender, peaceful hooligan, trying to get on the back of the market of them, but there's a gap in the market for this type of urban prison sort of wear. There's sort of everything that's on it is
input from yourself as
well.
well.
Yeah, but it's more to do with like reforming as well. There's a lot of Latin stuff in it, a lot of with the prisoners using the Bible a lot. There's a lot of like Latin phrases, a lot of like religious things on it. Charge sheet, original like charge sheets and stuff like that. So
about reform and rebirth and
just
new life, new start.
And all the slang sort of stuff. I did a book, Reggie Cray did a book years ago called Slang, his first book he did in prison. And a friend re-put it back out and he'd asked me to help with him, and we got that published on the same company that's done by. So there's some slang in there and all the different sort of stuff. Most of the people, like I said, the people I'm aiming it at, kind of, you don't have to explain.
Yes.
The stuff on the jumpers and on the sweatshirts and hoodies, they know exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
somebody like me might need to explain.
Oh yeah, you can explain it, but well, like I say, like something say like GOAD, you probably think what, and GOAD used to be like if you were in trouble on the wing, you get put down the block. It was good order and discipline, like a punishment thing, or.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't know that.
There's just stuff like that to do with the block and to do with the fighting and the chat and all the
Will it have a link to the boxing, the bare-knuckle boxing range?
Not really. I kind of know a few people. I mean, with the bare-knuckle, people had done t-shirts and vests, but it's more like gym wear, so I didn't want to. Maybe when I get to the spring-summer collection, we're going to do some vests, and again, then I'm going to change some of the stuff, because obviously in the prison there's a lot of that training going on and a lot of that inside cell exercising, and like something like Charles Bronson did that solitary fitness book. So there's all sorts of ways to like incorporate that onto like vests and kind of then put that spring sort of collection out there for people that want it. You can take it in the gym for the old lags type of thing.
That's fantastic. So if anybody is interested in reading your book, how do they?
You can get it on Amazon. It's in Waterstones. It's in Barnes and Noble, like the American stores. It's on Kobo, the American, it's on iBooks, Kindle. You can buy it off me if you message me on Facebook or Twitter. Sometimes like that.
Get a nice signed copy.
Yeah, you can sign. Well, sometimes I mean it's cheaper. Like I said, I think in Waterstone it's something like $10.95. Sometimes I use it. If somebody messages me, I'll sign it for you and just post it out for like a tenner. It's not too bad. For all the work you've done, it's not. The books seem to be like, you don't. For any of the artists, you see painters like they put months and months into work, but then they get really good money. The books you seem to put. I don't know why the people put the level of the amount of money you get for writing down there so low. Like you think 99 pence on Kindle, I get like 35 pence for every book. Like, and you think all that work is,
Do you think that's because people buy the paperback book less?
I don't think it's that. I just think it's the bigger authors out there that have been able to like manipulate the system, and like because they're selling in such volumes, they've been able to like lower their prices. So then when you're trying to compete, if you're a stranger, you don't know me, you walk into a bookstore, you see someone like Stephen King, his new book's out, it's $3.99. That's cheap for him. He's come down from his prices, but he can still do it at something like $3.99, $2.99, whatever. Whereas then you're trying to sort of make £7 to £10, people just think, I don't know him, I'll grab. They go with the readers are very, they like the safe options. It's hard to prize them away from their favourite author. So there's a bit of a struggle going on with like new authors and the authors at the top. Even though some of the authors at the bottom might even be better writers than the ones at the top, but I
love the way it's written, and I read an awful lot. And I would definitely recommend people to read this.
Yeah, thank you.
And having met you, and if people are listening to this, there's a nice background to it as well, so they can see where it's coming from, which I think makes a massive difference when you're reading.
That's it. It's like when I got the cut. I mean, I put it out in hardback first, but then when we got the paperback out, I had nobody really to recommend it for the hardback. But Noel Razor Smith gave me a nice quote, and Noel again, he's sort of a lot bigger, in trouble than I ever were, doing like 8 life sentences when he like reformed himself and got out of prison, and he got published by Penguin, and he's got a good agent, and he's works for the Guardian all the time. He's the editor of Inside Time. He was somebody I looked up to as somebody who'd like done that, on a big scale, reformed himself. I knew he was a major like London armed blagger, and then to be sort of turn
that
everything.
Transition, isn't
Yeah, he did a massive transition. Do you know what I mean? So to get him as me to say on the book, you know, I'm a all right writer and the book's good. Well, nice for the first thing, you know. Hopefully, I'll look back and got the right things on the debut. Yeah.
That's fantastic. I'm looking forward to the second one.
Yeah.
So hurry up and finish it.
I will do. I'm still trying to keep going through different names for it. It was started as the Death Row Thrift Shop, and then I changed it to the. You know, I keep, like I said, simplifying things because I feel like if some stuff's going over the head. You know, if you like it, like I said, if you're a new writer, it seems like all the books. If you look in the bookshops, everything looks the same.
Yeah.
You know, like people that have got these formulas to write in. That's not really what I wanted to do, but sometimes you might have to sort of switch your approach just to get your foot in the door, and then maybe you can go to doing what you want to do. Yeah. So at the minute, I'm kind of not really
toying with different things.
Trying to fit in, which I don't. You know, I find it hard to fit in, and I think some of the, you know, maybe when I've tried to approach some writers or some people that are quite high up, they're not really. You know, maybe they're not getting what I'm trying to do. I don't know. You know, I find it difficult, but.
Well, hopefully you'll get enough people to read it so that they can give their opinions and sway. Thank you very much for coming and talking to me.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure, as usual.
Always.
If you wish to contact us about this or any other topic, our details are on the screen. I'm Emma Kirke. Goodbye for now.